Yeah, people of God, you're welcome to this video. I'm super happy to have you here with me. In this video, we are going to be talking about proof of funds and other funds needed to study in and migrate to Romania. Romania is one of the prestigious countries in Europe and it's also a member of the European Union. And it appears to be one of the countries that many international students are rushing to right now simply because Romania and Bulgaria just joined the European Union, and that makes it a new study destination for international students. And the earlier, the better. That's the way it is because as time goes on, there's going to be backlogs, accumulations, and then a lot of um, a lot of queue on ground. So, but in this video, my focus is to calculate the amount of money you will be needing, both for the approval fund and for all other funds, for the logistics and for the applications, flight and everything that you'll be needing from beginning to the end till you settle in Romania. So without wasting much of our time, let's get straight to business. The very first thing that you have to do is to choose a university and the course that you're going to be doing when you get to Romania. So for the purpose of this video, I'll be using the bolyai University as my case study for this video. So, and choosing the university is actually basically free. So the cost of that one will be zero. So we had zero to our calculation. Then the next thing is authentication and legalization. For you to be able to study in Romania, legalization is required. So you have to go to the Ministry of Education, you get all your documents authenticated, you take them to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you get them further certified before you can now take them to the Embassy of Romania in Nigeria or in your home country, whatever country you are watching this video, be it Cameroon, Ghana, any country you are watching from, you take it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then you certify, then you take it to the embassy. First Ministry of Education, then Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then the embassy for the legalization of the document. It is that legalized document that you can now use to apply for your admission in Romania or any other thing that you really want to do that your documents are required in Romania. So I am calculating on behalf of basically those watching from Nigeria. Basically, I am going to be putting 150 euro in the calculation for the authentication, certification, and the legalization. 150 euro. So we had 152 euro to our calculation. So the next thing is admission application. Now that your documents are ready for the application, the next thing is admission application. So the schools, the application fee varies from school to school. For example, for Bulgaria University, it is 50 euro, but for University of Bucharest, it is 100 euro. So it varies depending on the school that you have actually chosen. So you are going to be taking 100 euro for the application fee because you may also decide to apply to more than one school. So if you decide to apply to two schools that are having 50 euro application fee, you pay 100 euro. If you decide to apply to one school that has just 100 euro application fee, you are going to be paying 100 euro. So you can apply to as many schools as you want depending on your capacity and capability. So let's add 100 euro to our initial calculation of 150 euro. That gives us 250 euro. Now, after you have applied, the next thing for you is to wait for the admission results. So this will take a while. So after the university has granted you admission, they forward all your credentials to the Ministry of Education. And then the Ministry of Education will now be the one to issue you the um, admission letter, the acceptance letter as they call it. So you have to wait until all this goes on until everything is done. This step is free. The issuance of the admission letter is free. So we add zero to our initially calculated 250 euro. So now, after your admission letter has been issued, you have 15 working days. There are 5 working days in every week. So if you have 15 working days, that means you have a maximum of 3 weeks to pay your tuition or whatever installment that is the first installment that is required. So for Buya University, you have 15 working days to pay your tuition, and your proof of payment must be ready. You must tender your proof of payment within the 15 working days. If you delay it beyond 15 working days, you are most likely going to lose that admission offer because you did not follow the rules and regulations. And that is why it's advisable that before you even apply for the admission at all, you check the tuition and be sure that it is something that you can provide as at when it is needed. So it is advisable that if you don't have much money, you go for tuitions that are not so expensive, something that are not that are very low, that you'll be able to afford and you'll be able to pay on time. Let's put it that way. So in Bolyai University, tuition ranges from about 2,000 euro to as high as 9,000 euro. Can even be more than that, and it can also be lower than 2,000 euro. It all depends on the course you want to study. So, but from my own research, basically, I noticed that the charge tuition per annum and it ranges from about 2,000 euro to about 9,000 euro, depending on the kind of course you want to do. If you are going for some health science courses, those are the most expensive courses over there, and it's around 9,000 euro, somewhere between 7,000 to 9,000 euro per year. If you are going for any other courses aside that, it will be coming lower. Maybe you are going for some science courses, biological science, those ones are cheaper, maybe around 4,000 to 5,000 euro per annum. If you are going for commercial arts kind of courses, they are really, really cheap. You can get them for as low as 3,000 euro, 2,000 euro, or even lesser than that. You understand? So it varies, it depends on the course and the area, and the faculty, the department you are applying to. And that is why you must do your research and be sure of what you are basically applying to. So for the purpose of tuition, we are going to be adding an average amount, which is around 4,000 euro per annum to our calculations. So we have 250 before, so we had 4,280. That gives us 4,250 euro. Now let's talk about proof of fund, bank statement for living expenses in Romania. Romania is in the European Union, but it's one of the most affordable country that international students can study in and live in. And because of this, the proof of fund is not so exorbitant. And basically, they require about 2,500 euro per year for an international student. So basically, so it's left for the international student to ensure that you have enough money in your bank statement when you are applying for the resident resident permit. But basically, I will advise you to increase that proof of fund to about 4,000 euro. Don't put just 2,500 euro there, put like 4,000 euro there for 1 year. So if we add 4,000 euro to our initial 4,250 euro, that will give us about 8,250 euro. So don't forget that the two major things that has actually eaten deep into our calculation now is the tuition. Which I told you that you can actually get something very, very cheaper than that if you search well, depending on your qualification and your area of specialization. That's one. And then the second thing that eats deep into our calculation is your proof of fund. People have different means of getting proof of fund, which may not really be a direct cost from you. It depends on the way you want to get the proof of fund into your account and be able to use it for the purpose. So we have 8,250 in our calculation. Then the next thing here is insurance. So although the Romanian migration receive a minimum of 6 months, 6 month insurance from the applicants, it is advisable that you apply for just 1 year straight, so that you don't have stories that touches the heart. Because it's possible that they can tell you that your insurance is not enough, and because of that they reject your visa or your resident permit application. So just go for 1 year, and the price varies from around 100 to 200 euro, depending on where you are applying to. So for the purpose of this calculation, we'll be adding 200 euro to our 8,250, and that gives us 8,450 euro. Now for Romania, the application fee is €120. This €120 is paid in cash, in euro, or in your local currency, where for the country where you are applying for the resident or the study permit, basically. So and then so you had the €120 to our initially calculated 8,250 €450. So that will give us about 8,570 €. So now we have 8,570 € on ground, basically, total calculation. So the next is for you to wait for the visa approval. This usually takes some time. The visa approval takes some time, and you just have to calm down and allow it to happen. So, so once your visa is approved or your study permit is approved, the next thing for you is to start searching for your accommodation. So before, bolyai University usually allow international students to pay for accommodation when they land in Romania. But now you have to pay immediately your visa is approved. And this accommodation varies from about €50 to €100 per month, depending on the kind of apartment you are taking. So if we had €100 to our 8,570 euro before, that will give us €8,670 per 8,670 euro total calculation. So now flight is the next thing in my calculation. For flight, I just estimated €1,000 for flight, depending on the country you are coming from, the the traffic, and then the time of the week when you want to fly, and the time of the year when you want to fly. So it can be higher than that and can be lower than that. €1,000 is a decent estimate. So if we had €1,000 to our 8,670 euro before, that gives us €9,670. So basically, so the like I said, the amount of flights varies from time to time, from the time you are from the beginning of the year to maybe to ending of the year. So for example, towards the ending of the year, the flight is usually very expensive. So if you can apply as early as possible for your study permit and get it on time, and you're able to fly before October, one, you'll be able to resume your lectures on time, and you will be able to have cheaper flights. But immediately your resident permit approval does not come before October, you're going to be flying around November or December. And that means, one, you're going to miss lectures and it may affect your overall performance. And two, you are going to pay exorbitantly for the flight. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. So that is how concerning the flight, basically. So lastly, I want to say that um, African stores are available in Romania, just like in most other countries. So you won't miss home too much. Basically, almost everything you are used to in your own country, you'll be able to get them in Romania, basically. So based on our calculation, as we have seen, we have had a total of about 9,670 euro estimated. Now this amount looks expensive, but when we remember that tuition is there and the employer fund is there, those two alone are about €8,000. And if you deduct that, that means all other extra costs is around 1,670 euro. One, it is cheap. Then number two, coming to the tuition, I told you that you can actually get something way cheaper. You can go for something as low as 1,500 euro or 2,000 euro, or what you can afford basically. If you go further and you do your deeper research, you will be able to get something cheaper than what I have explained in this video. Way cheaper. In fact, you can get a total of about 4,000 euro and everything, and you will be in Romania basically. So it all depends on, one, your um tuition basically, and then all other costs together, and then your proof of funding. For the proof of fund, with the requirement is about 2,500 euros. Don't forget, I personally was one who told you to extend it to about 4,000 euros so that you have more than enough for what you are requiring requesting for, basically. So that is it basically in this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.